Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star Part 185 based on novel. So let's start. Long Houchen remained standing there, but around him, a giant's figure was produced before the divine throne of eternity and creation. The figure stood over 500 meters tall. It was Long Houchen. Even though it was just a projection, the moment the huge figure sat down on the divine throne of eternity and creation, everyone from the dragon-resisting mountain pass, regardless of vocation, performed the most courteous salute towards Long Houchen. Enthusiasm replaced their fear. The demons have their invincible demon god emperor, but we humans have the divine knight of leadership and glory, Chairman Long Houchen. By releasing the divine throne of eternity and creation, Long Houchen had revived the morale of the mountain pass, which also increased at an astonishing rate. As if it was stimulated by the divine throne of eternity and creation's aura, the demon god emperor's devil dragon pillar suddenly shone brightly with golden light. It also gradually expanded under the golden light, only stopping upon becoming the same size as Long Houchen's figure. A huge, dark golden dragon appeared behind the demon god emperor, turning into a huge dragon's throne that was even larger than the divine throne of eternity and creation to hold the demon god emperor's body. You really have surprised me with your growth rate. Failing to kill you in the battle 5 years ago was my greatest mistake. Despite being over 24 kilometers away, the demon god emperor's voice remained clear, like he was just beside Long Houchen. Long Houchen said indifferently, "A mistake's a mistake. I've heard that the star demon god Vasagos once prophesied that it was your only opportunity to deal with me. Having failed, it means that your demon race will decline. Aren't I right?" The demon god emperor's expression changed and his reply also halted for a moment. Vasagos' great prophecy technique was one of the greatest secrets of the demons, so how did Long Houchen know? Even most demon gods had never heard about it before. The demon race will decline just by you. Fengxiu sneered. He did not retort Long Houchen. As the demon god emperor, he was always disdained to lie. However, for some reason, he felt a sense of unease after being reminded by Long Houchen. Yeah, didn't Vasago say that time that this was their only opportunity in deal with Long Houchen, and if they missed this opportunity, Long Houchen would definitely grow to become a threat to the entire race? Just by me, Long Houchen answered the demon god emperor with utmost confidence. He clearly could not show any weakness at a time like this. Fengxiu suddenly smiled. Very good. You really are the youngster who's caught my eye? Whether it's my race or your humans, there probably won't be anyone who can exceed your talent and luck among your generation. You really have become a threat now. Was the demon god emperor praising Long Houchen? Despite being enemies, the human powerhouses from the mountain pass could not help but feel somewhat proud after hearing that. This came from the demon god emperor. An invincible existence, the greatest powerhouse of the demons. It's not up to you to judge whether I've become a threat or not. Since this holy war is unavoidable, I believe this will be the war when we humans turn the situation around, Long Houchen said coldly. The demon god emperor smiled indifferently. I've praised you from the bottom of my heart. You really are outstanding, but you are still too young. I can kill you once, so I can kill you another time. Long Houchen suddenly widened his eyes and a cold gaze shot out. The huge figure immediately appeared extremely threatening, like a drawn bow, ready to erupt with the most powerful attack at any time. You are welcome to try it right now. As Long Houchen said that, he stood up from the divine throne of eternity and creation. He had actually taken the initiative to provoke the demon god emperor? Let alone the human powerhouses of the mountain pass who had leapt in fright, even the other 19 demon gods in the distance were left at a loss. Long Houchen was just too arrogant to actually provoke the demon god emperor. However, the demon god emperor did not become angered. He did not seem to be thinking of fighting. He smiled. You have more bark than bite. I say you can't, which means you can't. You have surprised me by defeating Arbao, but the difference between us is still tremendous. Since I've seen you here, you're already mine. However, I don't actually want to kill you. I'd like to ask you a question. Is Austin Griffin still alive? Long Houchen smiled. His smile was rather disdainful. If you're so confident in being able to kill me, what's there to be afraid of? Of course Haiyue is alive. It's living well. The demon god emperor smiled as well. It seems like you've already answered me. That's right, I can't deny it. Austin Griffin does pose a huge threat to us demons. However, it is bound to you by a blood pact. You've already died, so how can it still be alive? Long Houchen burst out in laughter. I'm dead? Then who's standing right in front of you? The demon god emperor said coldly, just an undead. Long Houchen shook his head gently. Your Majesty, you are too confident in yourself. Most of the times, it isn't as you have imagined. Do you have any evidence to say I'm an undead? The demon god emperor chuckled. Evidence? Of course not, because you're no longer an undead anymore. However, you once were one. Long Houchen also smiled. Your Majesty's contradictions really are hilarious. The demon god emperor shook his head. No, they are not hilarious. I can confess to you that whether it's me or any other demon god, they all fear Austin Griffin. However, your situation has already told me that it really is dead. Back in the Star Demon Pagoda, I shattered your heart and you died. If I've guessed correctly, the reason why you are able to stand before him once again is due to some kind of treasure you carried back then which prevented your soul from dissipating. Perhaps, Austin Griffin was not exactly dead back then. Afterwards, you used necromancy to revive yourself. However, you were only an undead at that time, not truly alive. You could maintain your soul, but Austin Griffin could not. It would only grow weaker until death. You've become a human once again, because you've stolen the remnants of the goddess of nature from me. You've reconstructed your heart through the power of the goddess of nature, but it's already been 5 years since I've killed you. In those 5 years, Austin Griffin should be deader than dead. Listening to the demon god emperor's detailed analysis, Long Houchen could not help but become surprised. It really was like that. According to the rules of the blood pact mentioned by the demon god emperor, Haiyue should have died when he survived using the Heart of Eternity, unless he was not an undead back then. However, even he himself did not know what kind of existence he was before his heart had been reconstructed. The wondrous Heart of Eternity created by Elux was no different from a normal person's head. It did not even affect his cultivation. In that moment, Long Houchen was filled with doubt. His reaction had verified exactly what the demon god emperor said in the demon god emperor's eyes. Since Austin Griffin is already dead, then the greatest difference separating us is actually gone. The demon god emperor's smile grew slightly thicker. Although your body possesses Austin Griffin's bloodline, the bloodline will gradually vanish with its death. Since that's the case, I can give you a chance. Long Houchen roused from his thoughts. He seemed to grasp a few matters after the short moment of pondering. Was the Austin Griffin that the demon god emperor knew really the same creature as his Haiyue? No, not exactly. The most simple reason was that when Haiyue was still weak, it could survive on the Shimordalu all because of Long Houchen's blood pact. Long Houchen's bloodline did not just flow through Haiyue's body. At the same time, his head that should have been of the darkness element had been changed to light. As a result, everything might have been different now. Long Houchen's guess was completely correct. Exactly because of the change in attribute, Haiyue was able to survive, allowing it to gradually recover from its original wounds and evolve once more. Light and darkness were powers of exact opposite. The little light out of Haiyue's 8 heads was basically the closest to Long Houchen, because all of its power came from Long Houchen. When Elux revived Long Houchen, he used the Heart of Eternity and retained everything human about Long Houchen, so he was not exactly an undead. He was half human, half undead at most. The Heart of Eternity was also created from the tremendous power of light by using his physique as a scion of light as a foundation. It was the crystallization of the holy necromancer, slumbering calamity Elux's life's work. No matter how great the demon god emperor's cultivation was, his understanding about necromancy was insufficient, nor did he know that the person who had helped revive Long Houchen was a terrifying existence on par to himself. This was why his guess was wrong. Long Houchen did not correct the demon god emperor as he listened to his easy voice and insistence on Haiyue's death. What he needed the most right now was time. With each passing day, his cultivation would grow by a certain degree. At the same time, the situation at the southeastern pass and Myriad Beasts Mountain Pass would develop one step further. It was very unlikely that they could repel the demon god emperor and all of the terrifying powerhouses he had brought with him outside the dragon-resisting mountain pass. His objective was to keep the demon powerhouses busy here, hopefully until the battles at the southeastern fort and Myriad Beasts Mountain Pass had wrapped up. Once that happened, the eternal heroes and powerhouses of the Six Temples would be able to rush over to assist them. That would be the final moment when he fought the demon god emperor to the death. Exactly because he needed time that Long Houchen did not correct the demon god emperor. Instead, he asked curiously, "Are there any chances that exist among us at all?" The demon god emperor smiled, "Of course there are. You may not know, but when I saw you for the first time, my instinct told me that you would grow to a level where I'd have to take you seriously. And that time, if I've remembered correctly, was at the Exorcist Mountain Pass. You were as weak as an ant back then. I could sense your talent and physique. If I wanted to kill you back then, it would have been a piece of cake. Did you really think that just the people from the demon god slayers could really stop me?" What the demon god emperor said influenced Long Houchen greatly. Did he notice me back in the Exorcist Mountain Pass? It surprised Long Houchen. That was indeed the first time he saw the demon god emperor. Back then, he was just a provisional demon hunter, undergoing trials at the Exorcist Mountain Pass. It was also the first time he saw the demon god emperor. However, he never imagined the demon god emperor would notice such a weak demon hunter like him. From how the demon god emperor had said that they first met at Exorcity Mountain Pass, Long Houchen was able to believe his words. Indeed, if the demon god emperor wanted to kill him back then, it could not have been any easier for him to succeed. The reason why I didn't kill you was obviously not out of benevolence. Instead, I wanted to raise you, to let you mature completely. My final objective was to make you one of my potential successors. Of course, at that time, even though you held a place in my heart, it was still below our bows. With that, the dragon-resisting mountain pass could not help but call into an uproar, as a series of disdainful curses rang out. The only one who remained silent was Long Xingyu. His gaze suddenly became sharp as he subconsciously tensed his fists as he stared at the demon god emperor in the distance, as if he was ready to charge out and throw his life at the demon god emperor at any time. "Are you dreaming? You're darkness, and I'm light." Long Houchen was also in great doubt. The demon god emperor had actually said that he wanted him to succeed him. Wasn't he joking? However, when he thought about when the demon god emperor killed him in the Star Demon Pagoda, Long Houchen realized something was off. With the demon god emperor's identity and status, he would never do anything aimlessly. The demon god emperor smiled indifferently. "What is light and darkness? Once light has burned to the end, it is darkness. You crippled our bow, so I really don't have a suitable successor now. If you are willing to abandon the humans and join my race, then you will be my first successor in line. If you are willing to hand over the remnants of the goddess of nature, then I can even pass the position to you immediately and halt all battles against humans. With the powers of my devil dragon pillar, converting your light to darkness is nothing difficult." Shock filled the entire dragon-resisting mountain pass. No one had thought the demon god emperor would say something like that after arriving at the mountain pass. He was actually trying to recruit Long Houchen, and his method about it was utterly shocking. Long Houchen only needed to hand over some remnant of something and he could become the new demon god emperor, as well as stop this holy war completely. What was this? This was completely unbelievable. No one had guessed that a twist like this would happen when the chairman of the Temple Union, Long Houchen, met the greatest demon god, the demon god emperor Fengxiu. Long Houchen had also become rather stunned. He had heavy suspicion over whether the demon god emperor had gone insane, nor was he able to understand what the demon god emperor was trying to say. Make him become the demon god emperor and convert him from light to darkness, as well as hand over Yi Xiaolei. Wasn't the demon god emperor afraid that he would completely destroy the demons upon becoming their leader? However, from how calm the demon god emperor seemed, he did not appear to be joking. It's a very tempting offer. Although Long Houchen was shocked inside, he remained calm on the surface. He was the chairman of the Temple Union, the ruler who held the greatest authority among the humans. If he became unsettled before the demon god emperor, the morale of the entire mountain pass would definitely plummet. Once that had happened, how were they supposed to fend off the demon god emperor? Your Majesty, don't you find that trying to drive us apart through such a clumsy method is pointless? The future of the Shimordalu belongs only to the humans. There will be no demons. Since that's the case, is there a need for a demon god emperor? Your Majesty, if you want to fight, then let's fight. There's no need to say any other words without substance like that. Long Houchen's rebuke was rather powerless, but combined with his calm voice and powerful aura, it was still very effective. Fengxiu smiled. He obviously could tell that Long Houchen had become rather uneasy. I'll give you 3 days to consider it. Give me an answer then. If you don't yield, then you will die. It's just like what I said before. I killed you once, so I can kill you a second time. Before the interests of my race, everything is useless. The dark golden light subsided and the demon god emperor directly faded away in the sky. The golden light from the devil dragon pillar also slowly receded. 3 days? Long Houchen also smiled. Dragging it out was fantastic. Wasn't the exact thing he wished for buying time? And Long Houchen immediately understood the demon god emperor's intentions. He was the same, also looking forward to the outcomes of the battles at the southeastern fort and Myriad Beasts Mountain Pass. Once the two demon armies had breached the southeastern fort and Myriad Beasts Mountain Pass, their dragon-resisting mountain pass would be in danger. However, what Long Houchen did not understand was why the demon god emperor did not launch an attack. If he and the powerhouses that had accompanied him launched a full-strength assault, it would be a terrifying threat to the dragon-resisting mountain pass. Long Houchen would definitely have to use all of his trump cards and he himself would not know how long he could last. According to Yi Xiaolei, even if he used all of his powers, it was very difficult for him to defeat the demon god emperor. There was not the slightest hope at all. Returning to the dragon-resisting mountain pass, Long Houchen immediately held a meeting and mentioned his guess about the demon god emperor waiting for the outcomes of the two forts. The demon god emperor must have sensed that we've gathered enough forces in the dragon-resisting mountain pass to threaten his army, which is why he hasn't declared a battle immediately. He wants to wait for us to fall into disorder first, Long Houchen said sternly. Long Qianyin nodded, I agree. However, that's quite a horrible reason he's come up with to avoid battle immediately. He actually wants you to become the demon god emperor. Maybe something's happened to his head when he cultivated. With that, everyone immediately smiled out of goodwill. Long Houchen said, no matter what, these 3 days are extremely precious to us. According to our estimates, there'll be 1 day at most before the battles at the southeastern fort and Myriad Beasts Mountain Pass begin. The scales of victory on our side are closely related to the battles there. Let's hope everything is successful. Yang Haohan said, the dragon-resisting mountain pass has already made all preparations. Even if the demon god emperor tries to take the mountain pass by force, it won't be that easy. Long Houchen smiled, this is only the beginning of the holy war. Pay close attention to the movements of the demons at all times. Although the demon god emperor said 3 days, we can't be careless. Orders were quickly passed down. What Long Houchen failed to realize that seated towards the back, his own father Long Xingyu's complexion was rather bad, as if something was bothering him. As expected, the demon god emperor settled down 25 kilometers away from the dragon-resisting mountain pass in the demon camp. After ending his conversation with Long Houchen, he even organized all of the demon gods to disperse the auras of their demon god pillars. As a result, it was very difficult to see their encampment from the dragon-resisting mountain pass unless there was a high visibility. The demon god emperor was currently in a good mood. Although Arbao had been injured, he indirectly verified that Hao Yue was really dead, thus his worries had vanished. He had returned to how he was before. As he ordered his army to remain alert, as well as to rest up. He also ordered Agaz to contact the demon god of death Samijina and hell demon god Marbas, telling them to immediately report back once there was news. No one knew exactly what the demon god emperor was thinking right now. Even the people closest to him could not guess his thoughts. Leaning back on a bed, the demon god emperor squinted his eyes as if he was thinking of something. Leng Xiao? He suddenly murmured his daughter's name, before gently shaking his head. Although Arbao is strong-headed, he's usually able to see the bigger picture rather well and is willing to put up with hardships. He also possesses the fine bloodline of the imperial clan. Leng Xiao's bloodline is not as pure as Arbao's. Her mother's bloodline is not pure enough. And this girl is more bold than wise. She won't be able to bear the burden. This really does trouble me. As he said that, the demon god emperor slowly sat up. He unknowingly thought of Long Haochen that had faced him 25 kilometers away earlier today. The demon god emperor smiled mysteriously. What a Long Haochen! Using the might of the supra-divine tool, he should possess a cultivation close to the 8th rank of the 9th step. If he really does have any trump cards hidden, he should be able to go beyond that, and he's not even 30 yet. Arbao pales in comparison to him over many aspects. Even though his bloodline is not pure enough, not even as pure as Leng Xiao's, but his bloodline from the other side is extremely pure. If he is willing to yield in the end and willing to have his bloodline and element converted, the demons will definitely become even more prosperous in the next 1,000 years. He's the only existence that might surpass me in the future as well. He even possesses the position of God that I require the most. Very good, very good. Without Austin Griffin estranging us, is there anyone that is a better successor than him? In this world, there really isn't anything I can't do. What's a chairman of a union supposed to amount to? The entire temple union's about to collapse, invaded by my armies, while he'll be pinned down here, unable to do anything. When he's forced to just watch the massacre of humans, he will obviously make up his mind. After murmuring to himself, the demon god emperor directly stood up. The light in his eyes flickered as they exuded with pride and confiance. Kid, I'll play these games with you. It'll be just like what I said in the past. I will give you this honor. Just as Long Haochen and the demon god emperor engaged in a battle of wits and courage, the battles in the south were about to begin as well. Both the demon god of death Sami Jina and the hell demon god Marbas had received strict orders from the demon god emperor. The demon god emperor's request was very simple, which was to breach the forts and make it into the Union to begin full-scale pillaging regardless of the consequences. That's right, only pillaging, not slaughter. To the humans, the demons were a thorn in their side. They wanted to eliminate them as soon as possible. However, to the demons, every single human was an extremely important resource. If they were used properly, the work from a single human could support 1 or 2 demons. And while the demons looked down on how weak ordinary humans were, they could not help but recognize the creativity and craftsmanship of humans. The demons welcomed all tools created by humans. As a result, even bloodthirsty people like the demon god of death and the hell demon god would all make the same decision when faced with a group of powerless humans, which was to abduct them and not kill them. Ever since he had become a demon god, Sami Jina had never received such an important order from the demon god emperor. He knew from the demon god emperor's attitude when he issued the order that if he failed the mission this time, he would probably become a second Visago, and without any chance of revival this time. From another perspective, Sami Jina believed it was impossible for him to fail. At this same time, this was a great opportunity for him. With such a great mission to complete, he would not call himself the demon god of death if he did not personally benefit from it. He would obviously hand up the items pillaged from the mission, but keeping a portion for himself only made sense. Even the demon god emperor would not be fussed by this. What did the development of each demon clan require the most? It was resources. With these resources, the fiends would be able to make rapid progress. Through their advantage in numbers and strength, as long as they surpassed the Moon Demon Clan and Star Demon Clan overall, his rank would definitely increase in the future. Just like what Sami Jina had told Marbas and Veilfor, the Demon God Emperor would definitely deal with the Moon Demon God and Star Demon God for Arbao's ascension to the throne. He might even change these 2 demon gods. That moment would be the moment Sami Jina rose up. His personal cultivation was nowhere close to the Moon Demon God or Star Demon God, but that also meant he was unable to shake Arbao's grasp over the demons. When that happened, he would become the most trusted subordinate of the new demon god emperor. Exactly because of these reasons, Samijina had basically mobilized all the elites the Fiend clan had to offer. Coupled with the elites from the other clans, they rushed towards the southeastern fort as quickly as they could. The million-strong demon army split into two. The group he commanded directly targeted the southeastern fort that was the closest to them, while Marbas and Valefor lead the other 500,000 troops to attack the Myriad Beasts mountain pass. Because the mountain pass was more difficult to breach, more demon gods gathered on their side. However, this did not affect Samijina's confidence. He had already made up his mind that he would use the advantage of distance to make it into the Union's territory before Marbas and Valefor no matter what. Not only would that present him with a better opportunity for pillaging, this meritorious service would also go to him, the fourth demon god. Hurrying the army along the entire way, the southeastern fort finally appeared. The huge pass stood in the distance. Samijina's eyes shone with a vicious light as he shouted out, "Pass down the order that the army will rest for 2 hours, and then launch a full-scale attack." The 4 demon kings under his command could not help but be surprised by his order. They had traveled in such a hurry that even the demons found it rather difficult to maintain their speed. However, according to Samijina's command, he wanted to attack the fort without giving his subordinates sufficient time to rest. Wasn't just too hurried? This would drastically increase their losses. "Head, shouldn't we let the people below rest up a little?" the Fiend King who ranked first asked to probe out Samijina's thoughts. Samijina glanced at him coldly. He asked, "Rest? Do you all feel tired?" "No, of course not," the Fiend King replied quickly in fright. Before Samijina, they behaved just like when Samijina himself was in front of the demon god emperor. "What I mean is the army has covered ground in such a hurry, so they must be extremely tired. If we attack now, our losses might be a little larger." Samijina said indifferently, "It's not like we're going to be losing any clansmen, so what are you worried about? If even you lot can't guess my battle tactics, then how can the humans do so? Only by catching them off guard can we breach the southeastern fort as quickly as possible, and our target will become the holy city. I can tell you that if we fall behind Marbas and Valefor's side, not only will we embarrass ourselves, everything good will be taken by them as well. Pass down my order that once we breach the fort, feel free to pillage anything. Everything you obtain will belong to you. Do you understand what should happen now?" The 4 Fiend Kings looked at each other and all became joyful. They could obviously understand what Samijina was getting at. The losses they suffer would not be members of their Fiend clan. Out of the 500,000 troops, their Fiend clan only formed a fifth of the army. They could let the other clans function as cannon fodder, while they, the Fiends, would definitely be the ones who would complete this mission and earn all the merit. And they had only brought demon elites this time, unlike what happened in the previous Holy War. The southeastern fort was never the strongest mountain pass of the humans either. The 4 Fiend Kings immediately left to set up the arrangements. With Samijina as their commander, even the other demon gods who had accompanied them would not be bold enough to directly state their displeasure. Who could help the fact that he was one of the 5 great demon gods? The army led by Samijina appeared and the southeastern fort obviously discovered them. Jiao Yonghao led the important members of the warrior temple, as well as the leaders of the armies from the 5 other temples, gathering atop the gates of the southeastern fort to gaze into the distance. Nodding gently, Jiao Yonghao waved his fist about. "They've come, they really have come. The information's completely correct. Demon god of death Samijina, I'll have you learn the power of my southeastern fort this time." During times of war, information was always the most important. A piece of correct information could turn the tides of war. Not only did Jiao Yonghao learn the exact time when his enemies would arrive, he even received detailed information on the number and rankings of the demon gods in the army, as well as the numbers from each demon clan. The information obviously came from Yu Yi's organization. 3 days ago, in order to deal with the demon army led by Samijina, the southeastern fort had already made full-scale arrangements. Samijina obviously had no idea that the information about his army had already been sold out to the enemy. Traps upon traps lay before them for them to fall into. 2 hours came and went very quickly. It was impossible for the demon army to recover in just 2 hours. At most, they could eat those food and rest up slightly. However, even among the demons, military orders were absolute, and there was only one consequence for soldiers disobeying orders, which was death. As a result, even though everyone voiced their discontent, the demon army still gathered under Samijina's orders. Samijina gazed at the southeastern fort in the distance and waved his right hand. Attack. The first to make it into the southeastern fort will be rewarded 100 human slaves. Among the demons, the best way to measure wealth was through resources, while human slaves were the most precious resource among demons. Even the demon gods valued human slaves. The other demon gods who were originally discontent with Samijina arranging his fiend clan to attack at the end immediately thought of the rich resources and wealth the human world possessed. In that moment, the demon leader forcefully ignored their exhaustion and led their armies to attack the southeastern fort. It was clearly impossible that Samijina would lead the entire army in a single attack on the fort. However, he had many years of experience in leading, so even if he was using the other clans as cannon fodder, he would not make it too obvious. The first wave attacked. A total of 50,000 demons entered the battle. The walls of the southeastern fort were not exactly wide, so 50,000 was the most they could fit on the battlefield. The ones that charged at the front were the berserk demons and birdie demons. Neither of the clans were protected by a demon god, so obviously not too many people cared about their fate. However, there was one fact that could not be disputed, which was their battle prowess was rather extraordinary. This time, the demon army of elites did not bring any useless troops. They did not even bring cannon fodder like dual-bladed demons. Accompanying the berserk demons and birdie demons were the demonic eye soldiers. With the three clans combined, they just about amounted to 50,000. As a thick blanket, they charged towards the southeastern fort. It was possible to see from high above in the air that the demon army surged towards the southeastern fort like a large swathe of locusts. Xiao Yonghao gazed at the army in the distance coldly and raised his right hand. Begin. A murmur of magic chants rose up from the top of the walls of the southeastern mountain pass. Dense ripples of elements filled the surroundings. Whether it were the mags, priests or summoners, every single one of them was assigned at least 2 magic crystals. After confirming that this was one of the most crucial battles for the Temple Union against the demons in the Holy War, or even one of the best opportunities to repel the demons, the Temple Union had gone as far as to use all of the resources it could get its hands on. The Alliance's great auction house had basically donated all of its equipment and magic crystals. They only asked the Temple Union to provide them with a promissory note detailed everything they had given out. This video will end here.